Hello, friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Paris, and I'm excited because you are in the building with me. You can be anywhere in the world, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I am so humbled and appreciative. Let me tell you about this show. Each and every single week, we continue to empower you to greatness that is truly going to help you, whether you are a person that have experienced a heartbreak, have gone through a divorce, or have endured levels of trauma of any kind, or you're just a person trying to rebuild their life and themselves, and now you are finally ready to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, then this show is for you. So with that said, thank you again for being here. I am extremely grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because together we are empowered for greatness. You ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I am your host, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, and I am so excited, as always, to come before you to talk about things that really matter. And so in today's episode 22, yes, my friends, episode 22, we are talking about surviving divorce. My goodness. Oh, that is a topic of discussion. So I'm not going to hold you too long because I can go on for a little bit, okay? Like more than an hour to talk about it because I've been there, my friends. I have been there. I'm going on surviving divorce almost 9 years. But I remember, and sometimes the remnants of it is still present. But let me say this, my friends, those who are experiencing the process of going through a divorce right now, or have been and still, after 2-3 years, you're still feeling the ill effects of it. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I am talking to you. And this can also, let me also say this, my friends, this can also apply to those who've really been in a long-term relationship or been in a relationship and it broke up. And what did it do to you? Well, let's just talk about what divorce can do to you, right? And then I'm going to give you 7 keys, 7 points to remember on how to survive a divorce, things that you should be doing to really manage yourself so you don't get in that hole of the hole that I was in. Okay, so I hope you are doing super well. You see how I jumped right into this one, right? Because I have so much to say about this topic. As an empowerment strategist, my goal is to really empower not just women, but men as well, because they have feelings. They have feelings too, okay? They have feelings as it relates to just being in a vulnerable place and letting your guard down. I wouldn't even say letting your guard down, letting love in and being hurt. So let's talk about it. You ready? Let's go. Okay, so as a survivor of divorce, I did survive. It was brutal. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my divorce, without getting too personal, right? But I give you my authentic self all the time, my friends. With me, I think that without because to protect his privacy and confidentiality, it was something that we both agreed on, but it wasn't something that we intentionally said that these are the negative consequences of it. We didn't agree to that part, right? And I know many of you didn't agree. You may have, said, okay, yeah, I think it's time for us to part, but you didn't agree with the contract of once you get a divorce, things can be really hard. And for me, the things that I had to deal with was sadness. Yeah, sadness. Sadness, and not just sadness, but feeling like, my gosh, I'm trying to hold this boat together because during our marriage, we have two amazing, beautiful angels through this, through that connection. And for me, it wasn't just the sadness of the relationship that went away, but it was also how my children were responding. Oh my goodness. My son, who is older than my daughter, he's 4 years older than her. And when we got a divorce, he was 5.5, 6. So he remember us being together. My daughter was 3, right? She was like 2.5. And so my son literally started acting out in school. Like he's a good kid, very energetic and very inquisitive, very intelligent. I mean, I had him tested for gifted, and yes, he scored above the radar. Okay. But when he was in like moving from pre K to kindergarten. And let me tell you, my son did a doozy when it comes to his behavior. Literally, I had to hide in the closet of his school because his kindergarten teacher kept saying, or it was his kindergarten teacher that kept saying, I'm not sure what's going on because he is not listening. Everyone's on the rug, because in kindergarten and first grade, they sit on the rug and the teacher teaches and it's very like they're not sitting behind a desk. It's very loose, very relaxed, right? And she said, I don't even think that he knows how to write his name. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Yes, he does. He knows how to write his first, his middle, and his last name. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. And she was like, well, I've never seen him write his name. And also, he disrupts the other kids, the other students. I'm like, really? I said, oh my gosh, I have to see this for myself. So here I go. This was funny, but it was serious at the time. I can laugh about it now. I told the teacher, I have to see this for myself. So guess what I did? I went and I dropped him off, but he was at they sit in the cafeteria until the teacher comes and gets them. So when they were sitting in the cafeteria, of course, I had permission. I went into the room and I hid like in the cubby area where they hang up their coats and their backpacks and, things of that nature, their belongings. And I was there. And when they came in the class, they didn't see me because I was kind of hidden. And she started her class lesson. And guess what I saw? I nearly passed out. Okay. My son was crawling on the floor. He wasn't listening. All of the other students were sitting on the rug. My son was picking at other students. She was absolutely right. I was floored. But of course, I handled that pretty quickly because after 15 minutes of watching that, I was like, And I came out of that darkness from the cubby into the light onto that rug. And he nearly, you could only imagine. You can only imagine. It was like he saw a ghost. Like, is that really my mother in the flesh? She is in my class? What? Well, let me tell you, after that day, the next day, the teacher was like, oh, he wrote his name and he sat in class. Oh, we didn't have any problems after that. Let me just say this. I'm a Black mom. I'm a West Indian mom. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I don't have to incriminate myself. Let me tell you. No, look, the Bible even talks about it. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Okay. So with all of that said, and of course we took some things away, but it was really It was interesting. And what really was the kicker was that he went and told his school after school counselor, right, that his father had died in a war and that he was really sad. The school counselor came to me, the after school counselor came to me and was like, I am so sorry about his dad and your husband dying. And, and when he said that, I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, your son told me that he died in the war. I was like, no, he didn't. He was like, he didn't? Yeah. So I say this all to say, my friends, my son literally had started acting out. So when I talk about feeling sadness, I was feeling sad because my son, my daughter, like I said, she didn't remember us being together. But my son really, really remembered, and it took a toll on him. And I was even more saddened by it all, right? And of course, we know, in addition to that, it does a doozy. It does a doozy on your finances. My goodness, it does a doozy on your finances. And let me tell you, when it did a doozy on my finances, I actually ended up losing my job. I don't know. It was just like one thing after the next. And I was constantly just worried and crying and upset. And of course, I was taking it out on my kids. Not of course, but I was, because I was irritable. I was frustrated. I wasn't sleeping. So it started impacting me physically. So, yes, getting a divorce is a situation, my friends. It really is. So let's really jump into the 7 keys to surviving divorce. Let's talk about it. Okay, my friends, I am so here for you. I'm here to help you navigate through this difficult time, and for those who are actually going through it at this current juncture, I feel for you. I am sorry that you are going through this grieving process, because it really is grieving. It really is grieving, and it can be very difficult. But what I know for sure from my own life, surviving divorce can be challenging, my friends. But with the right strategies, because I'm going to give you some strategies, and the support, which is what I love. This is who I am, right? Give you the support, you'll be able to overcome the obstacles and move forward towards a brighter future, because there is life after divorce. You don't have to crawl up in the corner in a fetal position with your thumb in your mouth. Come on now. You can survive divorce, and also it can be a brighter future for you. So let's talk about it. 7 points. Here are some of the steps that you can take to help you survive divorce. First thing is, I want you to allow yourself to grieve. Didn't I say that it is a grieving process? Divorce is like death. It really is. It may not be of the physical person, but it is truly, divorce brings a lot of emotions, and it's important to give yourself permission to grieve. Don't just say, oh, I'm just going to get another guy, or I'm going to get another girl. You have to heal, my friends. You have to grieve the divorce, because for someone to say, will you marry me? Or, yes, I will. That's emotional. That is you putting yourself out there and really committing your heart and going the extra mile to make it work. And if it doesn't, there's this sense of failure. There's this sense of hurt. So I want you to take the time to acknowledge and process your feelings, my friends. It's essential. I had to do that. I had to learn how to just say, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel lonely. It's a process. It is a process. The second, oh, you know what I say. I've said it in all of my episodes. And I say it in the beginning, and I also say it at the end of my episodes. Seek support, my friends. Surround yourself with a strong support system, because when your crown is a little tilted, you need someone to bring it to the forefront and make sure that you're walking straight. And when you feel like, leaning over or just getting on your knees, that person will be there either side of you, right? And God, what we know, I am a Christian, and my best friend is JC, Jesus Christ. And so I cannot not mention his name. I cannot not mention that our creator is there, right? To guide you, to soothe you, to be your comforter. So really reach out to friends, family, and of course a therapist like me, who can provide emotional support and guidance during this challenging time. Because my friends, divorce really, really is very difficult. So if you can find a support group or even just the Empower You To program, we are here to support you during these emotional times. Third, take care of yourself. I preach this, I say it, I live it, right? It is so important to take care of yourself physically. We're going to talk about the emotional piece, but physically, pay attention to your physical well being. Because what I said to you in the beginning, I said, look, I was crying, I was not sleeping. You have to be able to get some rest. Rest. Even if you have to take some melatonin. I am not a doctor, so don't say Natasha Paris said to take some melatonin and you just overdose on that. No, we're not saying that. But really, if you're not sleeping, and the best thing that you would need to do is engage in things that you enjoy. If you're not sleeping, take a relaxing bath. Meditate, light some incense. Ooh, some frankincense, right? Light some incense just to relax your mind, relax you, and then also take walks. Go jogging, right? In addition, reading and drawing and dancing. Oh my gosh, you know what I say about dancing. I love to dance, okay? I was a dancer for a very long time. And so now I'm no longer dancing, but let them play. I want to dance with somebody. I can't sing, but let them play that song. Oh my gosh. Or Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Come on now, let's go. All right? Find something that you enjoy doing, but really, really focus on what? Focus on taking care of yourself physically, right? Because getting enough sleep and regular exercise really, really helps you to cope with those emotions that come with the aspects of a divorce. All right. Self-care. Well, 3 and 4 is basically the same, right? Right. Three is you physically. 4 is self-care. That is those baths. That is you reading. That's you drawing. That's you dancing. Okay. Let's get to the 5th point. The 5th point is setting boundaries. Wow. Now, with your ex-partner, it's important to set boundaries. It's important when we talk about boundaries, I'm talking about clear communication on your boundaries with your ex-spouse, and establish a plan for co-parenting. Ooh, we're going to talk about it, because that is usually the biggest ramification, or the ill effects, is the parenting, right? You need to set up when he or she is going to pick up the child, because now it's now 2 of everything, right? 2 households, right? Just everything, right? And it does a doozy on the kids. But having a set boundary, having a set schedule helps the children transition into this new life. And it helps you. I'm going to say that again. It helps you. It helps you to say, look, every second and third weekend is yours, right? Or I should say every first and third weekend is yours. And every second and fourth. So my kids were young when we got a divorce, and I have a daughter. So I was not going to go a whole entire week. And these are some pointers. You might try this on, for yourself. If you're listening to this podcast, let me say this. Because my daughter was young and she needed me to do her hair, and I didn't want to see, and even for my son, I didn't want to not see my kids a whole week. That to me seemed really crazy for me, right? So what we did was we did 2 days off and 2 days on, not a whole week on and a whole week off. 2 days on, 2 days off. In other words, the kids would be with me on Monday. And then by Wednesday, he would pick the kids up from school, not from the house, because that's the boundary. You pick the kids up from the school. You don't have to come to my house, right? You don't have, because we were still very bitter and angry towards one another. And yeah, and it wasn't nice for the kids to see each other, see us like that. So to avoid the conflict, I set boundaries that you would pick the kids up from the school. And so he would pick them up from school Wednesday afternoon. They would be with him from Wednesday to Friday. And then on Friday afternoon, I will pick the kids up and they would be with me for the weekend. And then, right? And then that Monday, he would pick the kids up from school and they would be with him till Wednesday. Like that's how we did it. And so the children got a chance to see both parents in 1 week. It really made a difference because now my kids are like, I'm going to just stay here, right? So as they get older, they'll make decisions on what they want. And then they'll say, well, I'm missing dad. I'm going to go hang out with dad, right? So, but when they're young, setting boundaries are super important, and it creates a more stable environment for both parties involved. You want stability because a divorce, it shakes things up, my friends. And if you have children, oh my goodness, you want to try to keep it consistent as much as possible. You want to try to have it stable because their world was rocked, okay? The other piece is, which leads to number 6, is prioritize your children. Arguing in front of the kids is not healthy. I've done it. Look, without thinking, I've done it. And then I see the kids' looks, the looks on their faces, right? And so it's so important. If there are children involved, it is important, right? It's important that their well-being should be top priority, not yours, not your ego, not what you said or what he said and all of the ill effects and the emotions that are running high. It is about prioritizing the children, which means that you have to have open communication. Now, if you're in a place where you and your ex-spouse are not on speaking terms because all you guys do is scream, texting, just text. I mean, at one point I said, you know what? Don't text me, email me. Email me. I mean, I had to set the boundaries because I had to protect my peace. And yes, I was sad that we had broken up. I wanted to heal. And so seeing him all the time was not helping, right? And the same for him. And so it is important for you to ensure that there's an open communication, right? Provide reassurance and to the children, fostering a really nurturing environment and letting them know, look, yes, daddy and I have gotten a divorce, but he still loves you. Mommy still loves you. Like, you have to say this. Let me talk to my ladies and my men. I'm saying both of you. Do not talk ill about the parent. Do not talk about the opposite parent to the children. Do not take it out on the children. Remember what I said. Remember I told you that I literally was getting frustrated and irritable. I was extremely irritable. And so I would yell at the kids and things. And I'm not proud of that. I am not proud of that. But the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because I want you to learn from my mistakes. Because really, when your emotions are raw and when you are dealing with a lot, sometimes you hurt the people that you so much love that are closest to you. So be mindful of your children's well-being because it's hard for them. They're also grieving as well. And so it's important for you to celebrate the small victories. Like when he would pick up the kids and we didn't argue, I would just say thank you. Right. And, just the small things really matter. And I want you to focus on what will happen. Like, I believe that we will be co-parenters, right? And that we will be cordial. It's going to take some time. It really is. And so speak into your relationship because, guys, if you have children together, let me tell you, that that's a bond forever. That is a bond forever. So it's important for you to understand that and prioritize their well-being over everything, over everything. Number 7, this is a big one. Well, all of them are. Take one day at a time, my friends. Divorce is a significant life change, and it's essential to be patient with yourself as you adjust to the new circumstances. You have to, everything is different now, right? Everything you're now from two parent household or two parent income to now one and trying to readjust that. And that can take years, right? That can take years to readjust your finances. But understand there is light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. There is peace at the end of the tunnel. Take one day at a time. Celebrate those small victories. Really, really celebrate those small victories and focus on the future, as I said before, because surviving divorce is a journey. It's a journey, my friends, and I want you to know that it doesn't happen overnight. But with the right mindset that you say to yourself, look, this is where we were. We don't have to continue to drag this out. Let's do what we have to do and let's raise these children if children are present. For those who don't have children, knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel is an amazing feeling. And so for you, it's important for all of us, right? All the divorced parents, divorcees without children, that we celebrate the fact that we can feel good that morning when we woke up. We feel a sense of peace. And you know what I say about joy. We feel a sense of joy that is comforting because surviving divorce is possible. It really is possible. It's possible. But if you're in the midst right now and you can't see your hand before your face, take it from me. Eventually, the darkness becomes light, and eventually it will be you'll say, not a beautiful thing, but it'll be a thing that you've learned from, and you will be better because you're speaking life. Because as an empowerment strategist, my job is to empower you for greatness. So let's summarize really quickly. You know, I told you I could talk about this for hours, right? But I'm trying to, really respect your time. And I want you to really be able to pick up what I'm putting down, pick up what I am putting down. Okay, so what I know for sure is that divorce can be very difficult. It can really take a toll on your emotions. It can take a toll on your finances. It can take a toll on the people that are around you who are closest to you. But you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be in that place. First, allow yourself to grieve, my friends, because divorce is like death without the physical person dying. It's like death. So allow yourself to grieve, take your time, and acknowledge that it is a process that does not happen overnight. Okay? Second, seek support. You know what I say? Seek support as much as possible. Family, friends, therapist. I'm going to say that again. Therapist, right? Right? God plus therapy is a wonderful thing. Okay? It's a wonderful thing. The third is take care of yourself physically. Take care of yourself. Get enough water. in your diet, right? And we talked about that in our, the power of working out or the power of exercise. Drink lots of water, get lots of rest, right? Take those baths, right? It's important for you to do that, my friends. Make sure you eat. I'm gonna say that again. Make sure you are eating, and not just eating McDonald's or fast food. You're eating nutritional meals full of protein, full of veggies, right? You just want to, because when you go through a divorce, my friends, it not only takes a toll on you emotionally, but it takes a toll on your body physically. And you don't want to go from a divorce to cancer. Ooh, I had a client that came into my office and that's what happened. So you don't want to do that because you're having this internal fight that's happening, and you have to take care of yourself physically in order to release those painful situations and those emotions that can get pinned up pretty quickly. Fourth, self-care. Oh, you know what I say. Engage in those hobbies and things that you enjoy doing, dancing, singing, sing out loud, right? Reading your word, reading your Bible, getting close to God. That is actually the best time. And it sets a foundation for you in another relationship. God, show me what it is that I did. Show me not to make those mistakes. Teach me how to not make those mistakes again. Help me to listen to your voice. Like, that's where prayer and meditation comes in. Oh man, that's all that I, for the most part, did. I'm going to tell you right now. In addition to dancing, I sat with God. I sat with him, and it really was a comforting experience. Number 5, set boundaries. Set boundaries, clear communication, especially if you have children, about pickup, drop off, right? About money. And if you are in that kind of relationship where the other person is not contributing evenly to raising the children, family court, here you come. Don't fight it. Let someone else put it down, make the decision, right? But more or less, they'll have you go to mediation first. And if it cannot be mediated cordially and respectfully, then they take it into their own hands, because guess what? They believe children are a priority. Number 6, prioritize your children. The courts believe it as well. You have to prioritize your children, because remember, how you respond to your ex and what you do during that situation really, really impacts your children. Okay. And also, last but not least, take one day at a time. I can't say this enough. Take one day at a time, my friends. Take one day at a time. Take one step at a time. It's a process. Do not beat yourself up because you're still upset about it. No, let it go. So with that said, oh my goodness, this was good. I hope that this information resonated with you. If it did, you know what I say. I say hit that 5-star button on your favorite platform. In addition to that, leave some feedback, leave a comment. I want to know how did this resonate for you and with you. Okay, so let's talk about our empowerment assignment. I give you an assignment every episode. Why? Because I want you to practice. Practice doing the things that you say you wanted to do, and that is to heal. If you are listening to my podcast, it's primarily because you want to heal. You want to get better. You want to survive this grief and loss that you've endured. You want to be the best version of yourself. So, with that said, that means that you're going to do your homework assignment. All right. So I want you to do some mirror work. Natasha Paris, what is mirror work? Well, mirror work is that I want you to look in the mirror, just in the morning. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to say you love you. So in other words, I would look in the mirror and say, I love you, Natasha Paris. I love you. And look in the mirror. Don't look elsewhere. Look into your eyes as you're saying it. And I want you to do this twice a day for the next 7 days. Yes, the next 7 days, because you're listening to this podcast and it releases every Friday. But whenever you are listening to it, I want you to count 7 days from the time that you started listening to this particular episode. And I want you to go to your mirror morning and night and just look at yourself in to your eyes, right? Because you know what they say, the eyes are the windows to your soul. And say you love you. That's it. Simple. I'm not giving you, go to the library or Google this. No. I'm saying to you that it's important for you to take a moment to give yourself grace and to love on you. So, oh my goodness, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, giving you some golden nuggets, things using my own experience as an example. And really, I've survived divorce. I've survived it. And so can you. And so with that said, as your friend, as your partner in this, I want you to be what? Empowered for greatness. I want you to be amazing, because guess what? Without greatness, there's no you, and without you, there's no greatness. All right, my friends, see you on the other side. Bye. If you are loving this content and our time together as we become empowered for greatness, and you want to connect with me more, I would love for you to come and check out my Self-Empowerment Scholars. It's my monthly empowerment sessions where we take all of the materials learned on the podcast and apply it and study it and take it to the next level. So join me over at Empower You, the letter U, 2, right? The number 2.com/join, or you can text the word empower to 571-464-6511. That's text the word empower to 571-464-6511. Also, if you've ever gained an ounce of wisdom or the episode resonated with you, I simply ask that you do 4 things. The first is I want you to subscribe right now if you have not done so already. The second is I want you to hit that 5-star button on your favorite platform. The third is I want to hear from you. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear how it has resonated for you. In addition, the last, I want you to share this message with someone. It allows us to spread the message of empowerment to those who are desperately in need. So I look forward to seeing you on the next episode, and I want you to be what? Empowered for greatness. See you soon. Bye.